Welcome to Married AF. We are your hosts, Brooke and Randall Fowler. On this show, we discuss the topics that really matter.
Like big veiny cocks and our favorite TV shows.
So pull up a chair at our kitchen table and hang out.
While I bulldog my nuts.
Hello.
Hey, Dickies. Dicky doo-dah. Dickety-yay.
Dickety-doo-dah.
This is episode, I'm going to guess 84 or 83.
83.
All right. I like that. We had told you guys that we were going to do something special. Real special going forward. We were going to send a listener question to our great friends over at Who's Right with Doug and Anthony and get their input on it. So we had a doozy this week, and we sent it over to the fellas. And you want to see what they thought, babe?
Wow. Yeah, you're just jumping right the fuck into it and not even going to mention that we talked to
I'm going to say that after.
Alme and them. Okay,
So you
cool.
just sit there and hold your tits. Here we go. Let's see what Doug and Anthony have to say.
Hold on to your butts.
Yep.
And your tits.
So this question is to Brooke and Randall. I think they know that because they sent me the fucking question, but whatever. Brooke and Randall, mainly Brooke. I am a fan of the show. Would you mind discussing my situation on your show? Details are below. My wife and I have been married 2 years, and we have hit a rough patch, which has led to the statement of her needing her space, freedom. She took her wedding ring off already, and we have discussed divorce. I suspect she may be seeing someone else, as her whereabouts are always unknown, and our sex life is nada. As Mexican. I still love her very much, so I'm curious if this is a common phase for some women. I think the prospect of turning 30 is really getting to her. She seems like she just wants to live her own life. Do you think it's over? Yes.
You think so? So once she takes her wedding ring off, it's over.
He's not having sex with her. She disappears for hours and hours on end. She's not wearing her wedding ring.
Not a whole lot left, I guess. So
Okay, Anthony. All right. I no longer have my microphone.
Okay.
You can't get a hold of me. I talk about podcasts with other people. Do you think that our show's over?
No. So wait.
No.
So okay. I think that people don't give as much credit to their marriage as they do to like a regular friendship, right? So if me and you didn't talk to each other for, I don't know, 3 months, let's just say for whatever reason, we stopped talking for 3 months. And then 3 months down the road, you called me out of nowhere and you're like, hey, how's it going? Well, pretty good. Whatever. We had a 20-minute conversation. And then at the end of the conversation, you say, hey, you want to start the podcast back up? And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? Then that's it, right? So if you're married and you don't talk to your wife for 3 months, why can't it be the same thing?
Because it don't work that way, you dumb fucker.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face. I couldn't even. Yes. I couldn't even go through with that.
I don't want to tie up a whole bunch of their show's time. Let's just give my answer. Yes, she is fucking somebody else, probably 4 other people. Right now.
But so my answer is, I'll piggyback on Doug's and I'll say, if you're okay with her fucking 4 other people, then it might not be over.
Yes, I guess that's fair. If you don't need her to live with you or wear your wedding ring or just have sex with you or cook for you or lay in bed with you or talk to you, it's not over.
It's not over.
It's not over until... No, I guess I can't say that. That's pushing somebody for murder. All right, well, hope this helped. Hey, guys. So this question...
All right, so we got back to the beginning, too.
No, I was like, what's happening?
We couldn't get to play it first, so that's good. However...
If I gave a shit, maybe I'd go back and edit that out. But
I will let you say what you think first.
Well, yes. Unfortunately, dude, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is
it's
a
over.
open and shut case.
I think it's pretty black and white that it's over. And like, for real, stress of turning 30.
He's just rationalizing.
Bitch, please.
He's the one looking for something.
Yeah.
My mic is lifting on its own.
I feel like there's some type of something you could tighten to put it where you need to, but we could, I mean, if these are things you could adjust before we start podcasting.
I think it just raised it to where it should be, like, because it stopped. It's like, nope, this is where it should be.
It is. It's right aligned with your mouth. I don't know why you were trying to push it so much lower. All right, well, answer it quickly, and then we'll get into the...
I think they're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think the poor bastard's fucked.
Yeah,
and he shouldn't really, at this point, what do you mean is it? I mean, I feel bad, because if you're asking, and you already know, I mean, if she's taking off her ring and all that bullshit.
Well, if you don't see her for, I don't know, days at a time or whatever, and you're not talking to her, dude, not good.
Yeah. I feel bad. So that's another question, though.
I know.
I mean, that's just,
sad.
I wish there was a way one of us could, like, go the other way on this one, but there's no chance. There's no other argument.
It seems to be pretty blatant. But the only advice, legit advice I could give is, like, just be done. Y'all just do what needs to be done and finish it.
Yeah, I agree.
And so both of you can move on and get on with your life.
What it is.
Yeah.
I did like what Anthony said, though. That
why can't you just...
it might not be over. And why can't you just have that same in your marriage?
Yeah, why can't you just not talk to your wife for 3 months and then pick right back up where you left off?
That shit's funny. So we're going to do that as often as we can when we get a good enough question. And so if you want to send one, that's marriedaf pod@gmail.com. And yours might get sent to Doug and Anthony, and they'll tear you a new asshole.
No, that was pretty...
that was actually pretty good. They were straight up.
That was good. Yeah, you can email it to us, or you can slide into our DMs on Facebook, Married AF Podcast, Instagram,
yep,
Married AF Podcast, Twitter, Married as Fuck.
All right, so let's talk about this episode. I don't know if I really call it a podcast, if you will.
It's okay.
Touching my hands together, no one can see.
I don't know.
No, this is more of a chat amongst friends. We had Team Alme come over while they were in town. Uh-huh. You want to tell them what all we did? All the fuckery we got into partying together?
We partied big time. They came over and they brought us some delicious cake from a baby shower that Alme's family threw for them earlier that day. And it's fucking yummy. And Randall made a giant burrito buffet for us to eat for dinner. And as soon as they got here, Gunnar gave them a tour of the house and was best friends with Christina automatically. Mm-hmm. And loves her and has still been talking about her. He for some reason the name Christina escapes him, and he says Skarkrina.
Mm-hmm.
He makes up some. It's funny.
Yeah, they're going to be great parents, though.
Oh gosh, yes, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it was great to have them over. They're awesome to hang out with. I love them to death. We can just sit here and shoot the shit and it's just easy to just sit here and talk to them and hang out. And
mm-hmm. It's not funny, though. Like, this is the reason why I'm giving this premeditated. There's funny parts, but this doesn't sound funny when you say, like, I enjoy them very much as our friends. I think I would have been friends with Alme.
Of course.
Had we met at any point in our life. And Christina is she blows me away. I mean, she's fantastic. I love her to death. She's our speed. She's scary a little. Smart.
Well, she don't put up with anybody's shit.
But let me tell you, she did not feel well.
I know.
She's very pregnant, and the fact that she even did it
Yeah.
blows my mind because she's very pregnant and she had her allergies were a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Give me just one of those and it's a no.
I know. She's
Both?
a trooper for sure.
You know, so you got to give her props for that, for even hanging out. And, you know, they drove 45 minutes to come over. So,
Not to mention flew down from New Hampshire a couple days before and then have been running nonstop all day, every day. And then, oh, by the way, you want to come hang out over here, which I'm so glad they did. Like, I did feel, I was like, oh, man, they're just running every which way while they're here. But I guess that's just the nature of the beast when you go visit family.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool. I would have totally understood if they'd have bailed
I know.
just because all the shit, you know.
I know. I was so glad they came over, though. That was so fun. Always good to see them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I know they can't wait for their little one to get here in a couple months.
Yeah. So just going to this episode thinking, there's absolutely no structure. Didn't really cover anything except kind of shoot the shit. And we do dive into Alme being a obsessive compulsive possible serial killer in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, we do cover that. And unintentional masturbation. We talk about that
Yes.
a good bit.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, there's a little bit of good stuff in there. But hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you don't, fuck you.
Yeah.
Good day to you.
I said good day.
All right, everybody.
What
All
up?
right.
We're here.
Are we doing this one for our
We're here.
podcast or for
Who
the
cares? For all of ours.
Team Alme?
For all of ours.
We can
Let's-
all-
I mean, I know
split
it's
it
for
up.
all of it. Word.
nice little
We're-
swap cast.
Yeah, we're just going to say welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
To
These
the show.
shows.
Oh, you brought us stickers?
Shit happens when you party married as fuck.
And the inner circle one.
Do you have married as fuck stickers? Because we have some.
I would love. Well,
Yes.
no, we do have some. We have them stuck on our table.
Oh, okay, good.
Unless you've got new ones made.
No, they're the same ones.
They're the same
We
ones.
can never change our logo because it's the best ever.
that
It is
picture
pretty awesome.
will never get another
I
cool
love
one.
y'all's
Yeah.
pictures so much.
It is pretty wonderful.
Yeah. Well, the best is like whenever we wear our shirts, Gunnar will come up and say, "Mommy, you look so pretty." I'm like, I have
Daddy, you look so pretty.
so much make, and then he'll say, "Daddy's so silly."
Daddy's so silly.
Yeah,
with
everybody.
with that dog.
Yes.
We put on the most obnoxious shit we had, and Gunnar was like, "Mom, you look beautiful."
I know. I put on more makeup than I've ever worn in my life, and he had already gone to bed. And then when he came out and like looked at us, and he was like, oh, "Mommy, you're so pretty." I was like, "Really? Okay, thank you, sweet baby."
Yeah, but we're actually together here. We got Team Alme here
In the
in
hizzy.
Georgia,
Yes.
In the hizzy.
Yep.
Team Alme.
in studio here together again, second time.
You know what? It's
Yeah.
wonderful to be able to record live and in person. Fuck the telephone. You know? Fuck Zencaster. Fuck Skype.
They make me so angry doing those. they're so hit and miss. I mean, some of the you could have a great show, and then it's dog shit.
Yeah.
You get problems.
Podcast of the
Internet.
Roundtable was good though.
Podcast The Roundtable was phenomenal.
Podcast The Roundtable was so much fun. Mm-hmm. I
I've
had a
listened back.
blast.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've told anyone. I've listened to it like 10 times. Seriously, I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
It was
Even
good.
listening back, I enjoyed the shit out of it. And I'm expecting that Adam and Maddox are going to be entertaining as shit too
Is that who's
on
next?
episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Maddox is quick on his feet, and Adam's just fucking hilarious. I mean, Adam's a savage. So I'm really looking forward to watching that episode live. I'm going to watch that one live.
Yeah, Randall's actually gonna be on camera this time. We're so dumb. We have like 4 laptops, and I was like, "Babe, all we gotta do is put another laptop up in front of you and mute
Yeah.
it, and like mute your."
Yeah, I would have had 1,000 times more fun if I could have, because I didn't get to see.
Oh, I know. He was just.
Alme
I'm like,
until
this
after.
is so funny.
And it made everything that he was saying even more funny. When
I
you
think-
watch the hands and shit. In the
I think
cat.
everybody who, and you get to see my cat visit a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody who listened to the podcast after the fact, they did miss some of the visual
The fuckery.
element. Yeah, because I was definitely doing things with my hand and making
Mm-hmm.
faces and stuff. So, you missed that if you just hear the audio version.
Here's my first question. The SNL joke. And I wasn't on camera, but Jody B, who ended up being the winner Was
Yeah,
he
son of a bitch.
on video?
No, he wasn't.
No, he was not on video.
So, but could he see you?
Yes.
He could see us, yeah.
Well, see, I was telling Brooke that kind of is almost a cheat tactic because he could see you writing a joke.
Yeah, he could see me writing a joke. I had a pad of paper, much like the one sitting in front of
But
you.
you couldn't see if he was doing that. So, because if you could have seen him, you'd be, oh shit, he's planning
Yeah.
something. Boom.
Yeah, boom.
But
And-
you wouldn't have done it anyway because you weren't trying to really.
Yeah, I really, honestly, it was hard for me to be too adversarial during that because I really just wanted to hear what other people had to say because I don't know, like I really like Jody and I really like John and I really like Brooke and it's like I kind of want to hear
Of
their
course,
take on
yeah.
this.
I know I wasn't going to throw a grenade at all to anybody.
You didn't.
I didn't
Neither
either.
one of you
Yeah.
threw one.
I wasn't
Neither
interested
did
in.
I.
Good
Neither
sport.
did
Good sport.
Christina. Yeah, she's a very good sport. Actually, Christina, you would have been a grenade throwing motherfucker. I'm sorry to say, because it was the competitive aspect. You get to throw a grenade and it immediately shuts the person up.
No comment. I don't know.
Can we have those on our show?
I think Christina would have, as soon as I asked her a question, be like, all right, well, first let's talk about this question. So, what made you decide to ask this question?
First,
That's exactly what I was just
Are you
gonna
still
say.
drinking 6 Mountain Dews a day?
And let's
First,
talk about
ask.
you first.
Let's talk about your diet. What are you doing at night?
This session is more about you, Randall. Let's.
What I say is
about
not
it.
important.
6 minutes late. But the SNL joke that I thought it was golden, and it was tragically wiped from the
Tragically wiped
record.
from the
but it was
slate.
still awesome. It was hilarious.
I thought it was. I thought it was not to be too self-congratulatory because that's not really like me to toot my own horn or. It's not my style. It feels weird to even say this, but. For off-the-cuff joke, because I had no idea that you were going to ask about the best cast members of SNL, for me to then think, let me name, because you're asking for 10 SNL cast members, let me name the 5 that I can think of really quickly that had drug problems, and then let me name 5 things that would totally like throw them off the rails. Pile of cocaine, weed, hookers, alcohol. Like, those were the secret cast members that were really fueling the comedy.
Well, they definitely fueled SNL's history.
For sure.
Well, they fueled all the legends that are no longer with us.
Yeah, Belushi, Chris Farley.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say to Jody's credit, I remember I got a text from him. He's such a good dude. It was shortly after we finished the episode. And he was like, fucking Alme's a beast.
I know.
Well, to Jody's credit, he's a fucking hilarious dude,
Yeah.
too.
He was
Yes.
good. No,
Like,
that's tough. He's solid all the way around.
Like, if I got my ass whipped by John Jones or DC in the ring, like, could you really...
No,
Could you really be like, oh, Jason, you suck? You're like, no, you got your ass whipped by an awesome fucking fighter. No one blames you because he would have whipped anybody's ass, you know.
I'm just here to be last place, so none of y'all have to be last place.
Oh, but you and John as resident co-hosts of the podcast, The Roundtable, it feels like you guys are like, this is your house. You know what I mean? I feel like the guests are really the variables because you're going to get different
stars.
things from different people.
Yes, true.
And it almost felt like people were more voting on which guest was the best guest. It almost felt like.
And that'll probably be how it ends up all the time.
Which is fine.
You'd want that. I mean, if John was whooping everybody's ass or you were whooping, then people would be like, shit, ain't going on there.
Yeah.
Fucking all they vote for is
Josh is going to whip my ass.
Oh, yeah.
But John surprised did very well too. Fucking, I
Yeah.
thought everybody was really good.
I thought John did a great job because he was opinionated and he was clear, well vocalized his opinions on things. He wasn't wishy-washy, and he was just like, yo, this is what I think. I'm too old to give a fuck what you think about my response, so kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Kiss my white ass.
Well, I've got to ask one follow-up question. Our first time we recorded together, y'all remember we had the listener question that asked about our number one deal breaker for sex.
Oh, yeah.
And Christina's was body, like odor and hygiene.
Yeah.
Yours was the sunglasses inside. Mine was cigarettes.
She would never fuck Corey Hart, is what
I
she
thought
said.
yours was socks.
No, that's
Mine
his.
was socks.
Jason's
Mine was
socks.
cigarettes.
Mine was
His
don't you dare wear socks in bed.
Yeah, and Randall does it all the time, and like now it's in my head.
No, have you not noticed since then how I take my socks off
Gotta
now?
take them socks
Yesterday you didn't.
Well, that was impromptu.
You know the reason I want the socks off during the sex too is because I want to know that your toes and your feet are well maintained.
That's a huge part.
It's
Yeah.
a huge part. I don't want to feel like you're keeping your socks on because you're trying to hide some gnarly toenails from me or something like that.
No,
Like,
and see, I'm proud of my.
No,
I keep my
yeah, I know
toenails
no,
that's
you've actually got
short.
nice feet. Like they're not hairy or anything.
Yeah.
Like look at that. You got that big toe, and there's like no hair on that big toe.
And he does
see,
keep his
Christina?
toenails
Yeah.
trimmed.
That's
He
really
does.
not
Yes.
not an ugly foot at all.
So
A lot
I
of guys
know-
have ugly feet.
It drives me nuts when people have ugly feet,
Yeah,
all the way
not
around.
a fan. Not a fan. So I'm like, take the sock off. You know what I mean? Like, get your feet taken care of first. First, respect the person that you're having sex with by taking good care of your body and not being gross. And I think that really kind of applies to all of us, right?
Does.
Body odor for Christina, smoking.
Cigarettes,
Take good care of yourself.
Sunglasses inside is just you have a gross.
Well, that just shows
Personality.
you look immediately for
I
like a
agree.
personality flaw.
Yeah, that's a big.
But we had a question a few weeks ago for Christina to answer
Ooh.
when we had her back on, and it was wanting to know if, because when we got into the questions, I think people heard a lot about Jason being. I think people were wondering if he's possibly a germaphobe, and somebody asked Christina if he's a germaphobe, or is he close to one in your mind?
Definitely not. I would say he's far from a germaphobe.
I think you're right, Christina.
Yeah.
So it's just certain things.
I think it's certain things. I think
Yeah.
it's when you're getting like intimate.
Yeah, for sure. Intimacy.
Yeah.
I want things to be clean.
Yeah.
But I will eat food off the floor. I don't have any.
Well, that,
He
don't
won't
have
eat.
any-
He will actually. You won't eat food off the floor.
Well, it depends.
No, you'll be like, no, don't. Just throw that away. There's gonna be hair on that, and blah 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 blah.
I can
blah.
totally hear there's going to be hair on that.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
let-
So no, he won't eat that.
Okay.
So don't
Maybe
be
I am a
acting like you
germaphobe.
like that.
All right. I just
It's so
I
funny.
know. Maybe I need to think
defeated
about
already.
it.
Defeated already. It just depends. Like, because we have a cat, and there's oftentimes his hair, and
He's very particular.
it depends on the nature of the food too. If it's like a wet
Gooey.
food, yeah, like if you drop a meatball on the floor, that meatball is going to come back hairy because that hair is
Of
going to stick to
course.
that
Yeah,
meatball.
but like a
But if you
potato
drop,
chip.
yeah, a potato chip, an almond.
I'm eating
You know
the
what I mean?
chip all day.
Yeah,
If
I'll
that's-
eat the
At my
chip, no
own
problem.
house, yeah.
Just give it a like.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm still wondering if that's a true statement.
I'd eat a potato chip.
All right, well, somebody go get the almonds from downstairs. We're gonna stick one in John's ass, and then I'm gonna eat it.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I would
wouldn't
not.
touch
No.
it.
I
if it
wouldn't
was anywhere
in-
near John's ass.
Or in his mouth because
And
his
that's
mouth
John
smells.
the dog.
Well, so Christina, could you almost say that is Jason almost like he almost, and this is me, and I wasn't the one that asked the question, almost like OCD about certain things. Then
I would say yes. I would say because he's very, very particular about things, and then no, he's very particular about a lot of things. I remember when we first started dating, we would be cooking in the kitchen, and we had a small apartment,
Yeah,
and
it's tiny.
it actually just worked better if I let him do his thing, and I'll just go chill
that's Brooke's life.
over there.
That's how Brooke is.
And yours. We're both OCD
Yeah,
about
but I'm
everything.
my shit is bad. Like
Yeah.
you're just like cook whatever you want, but you're gonna. I'm not
then-
even gonna try to cook because of how particular I am.
But then when
about
it comes to
food.
doing the dishes, what happens?
oh, you kick me the fuck out.
Because you don't do any of it right.
I know. She
fuck
she
those
hates
So it's just-
when I load the dishwasher.
Yeah, so it's just
Why?
he does
not
it
right.
wrong.
She let me load the dishwasher tonight. She didn't say anything
because
about
you
how I
probably did it right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I did
a
it
piece
right?
of
I never.
trash.
Yeah.
What's your error?
I just throw it all in.
He throws it all in just willy nilly. He'll put giant.
Willy-nilly.
He's obsessive
He'll-
too. She's like, yeah, that's.
He'll
bad.
put giant bowls like on the bottom. I'm like, what do you want? Nothing on the top to get clean? And he'll just put stuff in like all cockamamie so nothing else can fit. And I'm just like, just stop it.
Stop.
I'm gonna do it because it takes me way. Like if I do it, it's quicker than having to come through and redo,
Redo it.
everything
Yeah.
that you did. So
I'm not OCD enough to redo the dishes that she does. Although I do have my method for doing dishes, like I have a way that I do
Yes.
it, but I won't stop her and say no, do it this way.
Well, that's because I normally always do the dishes, and if you had to stop me, that'd be
Yes.
a whole lot of dishes you'd
Yes.
have to start
Yes,
doing.
but in my defense, you are the lady. You're
You
the
are a woman.
so
I'm not going to
you-
stop and correct her.
You
No,
have
you're
a
not.
vagina and you're pregnant and you're barefoot and you better be in front of that dishwasher. I'm just saying. Jeez, what do
Yeah.
people think about me? I can't believe this.
It's just I'm really lucky that Randall does the cooking too because I could see how like it could get real old doing like all the cooking and because I'm so crazy about doing all the dishes. Like, so it just works out because he
we
cooks.
split it.
He cooks basically every night, except for like on the weekends. Like I will just to give him a break, but then I still do the dishes just because I'm a psycho.
Not because I don't want to, but because she prefers me not to.
And he just has stopped trying to help, and it's fine.
She's very helpful when I have a test or a final or something like that, and I'm kind of bogged down. She'll say, "Don't worry, honey, I'll cook, I'll clean tonight because I really, you need to study." Because I don't want to hear you bitch about getting a fucking 87 on your fucking final in nutrition pathophysiology. I swear to fucking God, I'm going to burn that motherfucker's house down. But she doesn't want to have to hear me complain about getting an 87 on a final.
An 87's not terrible.
If I were Japanese, I would jump off the roof.
See, this is part that makes me think the OCD too. Like his grades, I've heard him talk about it a couple times. Like, but it could be driven, could be OCD.
And
like,
I don't look at it as OCD. I look at it as just like a very strong perfectionism.
Yes,
like very just the perfectionism. He just puts himself like up here, and if he's not up here, then it's not. Yeah, it's not okay.
Well, I just tie that into your.
I'm so not like that.
Bodybuilder?
Your persona with how long it takes you to edit.
Oh.
Yes. So I think that's the perfectionism. And maybe it's just kind of a different word, same
That's it's the hardest thing for me too, because I'll go back and listen to other people's shows that I was on as a guest. I'll go back and listen to this show and I'll think that episode was great. Did they edit? How did they edit that? How did they get that out so fast? Because I do not have a critical ear until it's my own show, and then it's like, no, I can clip this. Okay, I can tighten this up. I can make this better. And honestly, the thing about editing is if you do it really well, no one knows you did it.
Yeah,
they'll never. Yeah. It's essentially thankless. No one will ever send you an email and say the way you edited that podcast was stellar. You took an hour and 50-minute conversation. You cut 20 minutes of bullshit out. There were no mouth clicks. There was no mouth sounds. There was no anything. There was no ums. It was perfect.
And 20 hours later.
So it is weird though, because I listen to all of y'all's podcasts. Other people listening to this who have podcasts, I listen to y'all's podcasts, and I never sit there and think like, oh no, I don't have that in me. I listen to the podcast and think, God
holy shit, John just shit his pants.
John did just shit his pants.
Everyone now, it's even more real because we have proof.
I still can't smell it.
Good.
God,
I don't smell it. It hasn't made it over here yet.
And I can smell it a little bit.
I didn't smell it. I tasted it first.
That's why
it was on my tongue.
What did he eat?
Nothing. Dog food.
He's garbage. God. That old guy is a shitbag.
You just wonder, like, what's wrong with their insides? Like, does he have a tumor that's like necrosis of his colon or something like that?
Just a very gassy pit bull.
So like that cough, I would have to edit that.
Yeah.
And that's why I multi-track. But honestly, when I record something like this Swapcast and we mix this down to one track, I'm going to be so thankful to you guys when I publish it, because I'm like, fuck it, it's one track. I can't. But I'll multi-track at home, and I'm like,
well, this will be recorded in multi-track. This puts it. We'll all be separate.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
I know.
I guess actually this could be the experiment.
On anymore. These were on, and now they're not on anymore.
Well, press
they did go away.
Oh, they don't do anything now.
Oh, that is.
Well, but I'm recording on here, and it's one track.
Yeah, and it's still, the mixer's still recording.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
this is all very fancy.
Maybe this would be the experiment. Like you guys publish, and then I'll 6 weeks later publish, and people can listen to them side by side.
No,
and they like
let's do that.
No, don't do that, because then it'll be like Brooke doesn't do a goddamn thing.
Well, people already know that.
No, but I catch so much shit for it. I catch so much shit for it. Like, you guys don't catch any shit. No one out there. Everyone's like, dude, I recorded an episode with you in December of 2017. How come that shit's not published yet? I'm like, dude, you made a lot of mouth sounds. What can I tell you? I gotta go back and clean it up, because it might be an OCD thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it might be connected to the bodybuilding thing too. And since I really can't do that anymore to the degree of perfection,
I don't think that's a true statement. I just think that's how you are.
Okay.
because it's school, it's like everything.
Yeah.
I think
It's
being
like
a perfectionist is like some form of being like it's
I think
OCD.
I think so too.
But it's just, I mean,
It could be a segment of OCD, like
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
olive branch. That's,
I think it's on a spectrum.
I've
but
got
is it bad though?
No, I don't think
No.
it's bad. I mean,
Unless
because
it's ruining like your marriage.
I think it's a pros and cons. I think it causes him a lot of stress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does cause
Like
me a lot of stress.
of fucking stress.
Oh.
It does. I stress out because I really like, I hold myself to a very, like, I haven't gotten this out yet and I need to do this and I got to do this, but I got to do it right. So like, I'm going to do it all down and spend 8 hours on it. It is kind of stressful. And she doesn't like seeing me stressed, of course.
My
'cause she
MI
loves
does
me.
not work on him. My motivational interviewing does not work on
She
him.
tries it.
It works
She
on
tries
me.
it.
I was almost a broken man. So everyone that doesn't know, we were talking when we finished eating earlier and we were sitting down just shooting the shit, and started talking to Christina about my diet, and I learned quickly that if you open the box and let her in,
Yeah.
she can change your
It's
soul.
like those vampire movies when you have to invite the vampire in, but once you have, they will always feel welcome in your home, and they'll basically come murder you.
No,
and
but
your
it's
family.
very easy to
Yeah.
talk to
Just
her.
try
Like
and make you
she makes
healthy.
really good eye contact. Like
She rolls out
she's
there
not
every
like
carpet.
judging, but she wants to know. Like when you talk to people that literally want to talk and hear
Yeah.
what you say instead of just hear themselves, you're like, this is so fucking refreshing. She gives a shit. She just remembered what I said.
She's not judgy at all until we're in the car on the way home, and then she will talk shit about everyone.
That's totally fair. Everyone does
Not
that.
true.
Well, that's
No, it's not completely true.
Not true.
Some of you out there, maybe it is true. I don't know. You'll know.
And
who
be
you
careful.
are,
Don't
maybe.
be too nice. I've been crying all day. So emotional, prego person.
It has been an emotional day. It has been a very emotional day, I think.
happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
So-
guys are here in Atlanta visiting family and stuff, celebrating.
We're visiting our Fowler family.
Yeah.
Our Fowler fam.
Last time we could not disclose the pregnancy, right? Like that was
It was super early.
was early,
It was
yeah.
beginning of January. Last
You guys
time.
actually, you
Really?
two were the first
Wow.
two
You're right.
that
were
we
here for
had told
Christmas.
Yeah,
outside of
it was
our
like right after
immediate
New Year's.
family.
Yeah.
Like siblings, like the parents and the siblings found out, but you guys were like the first two people. And it was like, we're hanging out. We got to tell you, like,
well. You didn't
Oh,
see
yeah.
the high five when y'all left. How when you told us, I saw Brooke's heart sink. Like Randall's gonna let it slip.
Randall's gonna run.
He's a disaster with secrets, and not intent, but he's gonna let it go. So sorry that y'all told us. And when I didn't, when y'all left, she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, can't believe you didn't at all."
I was
I was
so
like,
proud.
"I know, me too."
the next night we recorded a episode with my family. I wanted to do like
yeah.
a New Year's special.
Oh, we got to talk about the episode with your brothers.
My New Year's special, my brother dropped it, and I was like, ooh, I was gonna try to release this in a couple days, and we're not telling people we're pregnant yet. So I actually bleeped out. He said pregnant twice.
Yeah.
And I bleeped it, and I actually did have a couple of, like, I don't know if any podcasters were like, dude, did he just say you were pregnant? But I actually did have one of the listeners that I know in person on campus, and I bumped into her, and she was like, "You're pregnant." I was like, "You listened. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you."
Because you listened, I will tell you yes.
Yes,
They
yes, we're having a baby.
And that's what I thought I was gonna have to do because I was like, well, at least this isn't like live. So if Randall ruins
Yeah.
something, I can always edit it
You can
out.
always
but,
bleep it out.
but as soon as you're live, I was like, babe, so proud.
Good work.
So proud.
Good work.
It would never have been like a
It would never be
stealing your
intentional.
thunder. It would have just
No.
been something that like slipped out. But I think
It's excitement. It's
once
okay.
Wutsky
It is.
announced it, I think he was the first one I heard announce it on air. I was like, okay, now if I ever say it, it's okay.
Now it's okay.
He was so
If I do
relieved,
say
like,
it.
oh fuck, because he was so worried, like he was gonna say because then if we would record after you guys came over, and if we mention you guys, I would look at him like,
Well,
I didn't say nothing.
I've got to ask something of Christina and you, because Alme said something on, I believe it was hashtag no offense, that I agree with wholeheartedly.
Ooh.
The Polynesian sauce at Chick-fil-A. All right, I'm a huge proponent. I can drink Polynesian sauce. I
Let's
think
run
it's-
away together.
It's underrated. People that think Polynesian sauce isn't good, I want to do like Christina did to me with their diet. I want to really analyze how can it
You
not
talk
be
about
good? How can you not like Polynesian sauce? Anyone out there?
Please write to us, tweet at us, whatever you got to do. Get at me. I want to figure out that sandwich, the Chick-fil-A, the number one, the traditional Chick-fil-A sandwich. It's crispy. It's salty. It's got the pickles. When you add that Polynesian to that sandwich, oh my God, it's heaven, because the sweetness and the saltiness. It's just perfect. And anybody who disagrees, frankly, normally I would say different strokes for different folks. Everybody has their own opinion, and I respect that. You people, I do not respect one bit. You are not right. You might think you're right. You're not. I don't respect you. You need to get your head straight on the Polynesian or fuck off.
I do prefer the Chick-fil-A sauce.
I'm telling you, I'm not even a big fan.
Would you like to punch me in the scrotum?
I do like the Polynesian, but I like the Chick-fil-A sauce.
She does prefer
too.
the Chick-fil-A
I don't know
sauce.
if I had Chick-fil-A sauce.
It's the yellow one that's kind of like a honey barbecue.
No,
I've had that
because
one.
you're
Mustard?
Brooke is. Let me tell you, Brooke is what's called a trash compactor. She would, and it works out so good for
What the fuck?
anyone else because she would eat. I could throw a pile of shit. Everyone strikes out, right? When you cook, sometimes you make something that just turns out and it's
no
good in theory and it tastes like shit.
Everybody gets a mulligan.
I would never know. I've made shit for us before, and I've ate it and been like, "Okay, babe, sorry, that was a dud." And she's
Feed
like,
that
"What
to
do you
John."
mean? It's all gone."
Yeah.
She'll eat anything
Like
as long
a
as it's
goat.
not beef or pork.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we order Chick-fil-A, I'll order it, and she doesn't even care. Get some kind of sauce or something for
I
her
just-
to throw it in, and she'll tear it up. And
It's
it'll be
just
gone.
whatever
But
sauce
she's
you
not
get.
she's not the kind of person who eats it dry because that's
No,
No, I love
I kind of
sauce.
feel like that's a bit of a soulless. Like if you eat that Chick-fil-A dry with no sauce, that's kind of
But
like
you eat the chicken biscuit dry. It's
that's
kind
a
of the
chicken
same
biscuit
thing.
though. No.
Now
It's a
the
chicken biscuit.
doughiness of a biscuit
That's a chicken biscuit.
kind of helps with not putting a sauce on it because I don't put sauces on.
Okay, I did just contradict
Now,
myself.
well, here's my question though: on a
Yeah,
sausage
thank you.
biscuit, do any of y'all eat sausage biscuits from anywhere? Ever have?
It's a very rare event that I do. I like sausage biscuits, but
Mm-hmm.
I very seldom consume
I
them.
definitely do not use
Because I
sausage
put
biscuits.
mustard on mine.
Yeah, I don't eat sausage.
Okay.
so.
On my
No,
sausage
mustard with
biscuits.
sausage is delicious.
And people would look at me like I was a freak.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, "Can I get a couple mustards?" And they're like, "Fuck you, sir." But here,
Fuck off, sir.
Well, I'm
No,
all about
sir.
that because you know I love mustard.
I
yeah,
love mustard. Yeah, mustard's great.
Mustard and
condiment.
hot sauce
no, and mustard and
sauce, yes.
ketchup on fries. She'll douse mustard and ketchup all over.
and hot sauce.
Interesting.
How much do you rub on your belly, Christina? I see you doing it.
It-
Brooke-
It
Brooke
itches
used to do it all the
because
time.
it itches.
But I do it also just
Yeah.
it itches, and then also I just like touching my belly.
Yeah. Well, that's also fun. I just remember it itching like a motherfucker
It does.
You
it
know,
does
I would
itch.
because it's constantly growing.
Yeah.
I would
Like-
criticize her more for that if I didn't constantly play with my own dick and balls.
I do always. My hands on my dick and
Sometimes
balls
I'm like,
at all times.
what is happening over there that you're
Matter of fact, how's my
constantly-
hand not on my dick
We've
and balls?
had a lot
Honestly.
of conversations about that whole
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
I think that starts at childhood because Gunner grabs his junk all the
Sure,
time.
for sure.
Oh, all the
Guys
time.
grab
And
the
every time he does
deep-seated-
it, I'm like, do you have to go to the restroom?
Yeah.
Because that's
Deep. I'll find. We've been
Yeah.
in the car. Sorry to
primal.
interrupt you, babe, but I've got an issue where, like, a lot of people put their hands on their wiener, and that's every guy. I will get my wiener between my fingers and be rolling it,
And
Yeah.
it,
and
I'm,
not even know.
like a cigar.
yeah,
I'm-
like and Brooke will be like,
I'm
"Dear
ashing a
God," and I'm
cigar
like,
with him.
"What? Holy shit! I'm masturbating." We got family over, and
Holy
I'm
shit. I'm in the McDonald's drive-thru, and the lady's trying to hand me my McDouble, and my penis is in my hand, and she's
I'm rolling
aghast. She's just
We went from Chick-fil-A.
I'm masturbating in public, and I didn't even know. Like,
I'm on a sex offender registry, and I didn't even know.
Wow.
that makes me think of
thank
Dillard
you for
House.
saying that though, because that's what I'm like. Are you jacking off over there? Like, what is?
But no, what I'm doing, like-
happening?
Do you need some help?
We'll use
Yeah.
this. We'll use this bottle. Pretend that this is real. I'll just be like,
Yeah, and I'm like, wait.
and I know it's weird. Like it's already weird that we all touch our junk all the time. But I'm literally like, and I'm like, that's bad.
Dude, that's, yeah.
I know that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have you worked on it?
It's not like it's not even something I
subconscious?
think
No.
about.
It's not
I've
a
never
conscious
thought
thing.
like, hey,
It
let
is
me grab my
subconscious.
wiener.
No, because it's not like he's getting hard or
No,
anything.
no,
like-
no,
so
that would be super.
But
Honestly,
that
I
would
just do it to
be-
keep my shit warm sometimes because, as I told you, I don't like to be encumbered by clothing when I'm in my own home. I like to take clothing off. And when I lived here in the South, I would routinely wear almost nothing, maybe a pair of shorts, and that's it.
That's
Up
it,
north,
yeah.
I got to wear a little bit more, but sometimes it's like my shit is cold. Like I need to like rub
yeah.
it for a sec and like make sure I'm like warming my shit up and make sure it's not too cold.
See, for me, it's almost like a pacifier.
Yeah.
And I've already got dip, so I've got like 2 pacifiers.
Yeah.
That's really
But
funny
it-
because
it's-
females don't do that though.
Yeah, I've never once caught you playing with your pussy lips. Ever.
No.
Or your nipples.
Or
I've never
boobs.
seen Brooke
Unfortunate.
like just.
No, and
go
it would,
into
and it's
town.
not as accepted. I don't really get why it's so accepted for dudes to like do so much stuff.
I just wish
there.
you could have a scrotum for a day.
No, I don't.
I
no
feel like
thanks.
you
I mean,
understand.
so with that, so then this is where we have the conversation
Yeah.
where I get where it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
We got a lot
It's
lot
a different
going on down
psychology
there.
too. It's
But-
it's 40 years of being a male and testosterone affecting your brain. Like literally, like our brains are soaked in a chemical foreign to you. You know what I mean? And so I think it affects our psychology in addition to our physique. And that is the reason why I will slap things with my penis. And I don't know that you would if you
Well,
had
but
a penis
it's like
for a day.
all guys
I would
do
if-
things like that. It's not like you're an anomaly. You know, obviously, it's like all. You know,
It's like everything I do, though. I take it a step further than most. So everyone touches their wiener,
True.
I roll mine.
Everyone touches their wiener. Me, I.
And I'm trying to explain what it's like to when I say rolling. You could
You
say
don't
a cigar,
need to get
or,
into it too much,
or like
but-
if you pick a huge booger and you're rolling. it in your
Oh, I see what
fingers.
you're saying. Yeah, you're
Yes.
consolidating that booger. Oh, Jesus Christ. So it's like
Thank you. The visual wasn't quite there, but now
Now it's there.
Now I'm good.
Yes.
Got
Now
it.
it's like,
It all makes
I
sense.
get it now. That light bulb went off over her fucking head.
It was like dotted lines, but you just colored that in,
Yeah.
shaded it.
Yes, it's very clear now. It is very.
Glad you were
The
persistent.
fog has lifted. And so I wish it could be like that classic film. And I know you guys are probably all big fans. The classic film, Freaky Friday.
Oh, of course.
Yes, it's one of my favorites, actually. And if we could just change places for a day and she could be in my body, then she would understand what it's like
I'm sure
to
she'd
live
like
with a
to
penis.
right now for like.
Well, so how is that? Let me
Let's-
ask you both that. That's a great question. Because women go through this science experiment of having a baby, right? And it's incredible, it's beautiful, it's disgusting, it's wonderful, it's all those things. It looks so painful. I'm a guy, so from me. And you go through all that, and then a couple years later, you're like, I'll do that again.
I'll do that again.
So
that's
how
the
is
fun.
it? So would you say being pregnant is good or bad? Fun, not fun.
Well, not fun. You remember me? I was bored out of my skull.
But you say that, but you're.
But I
you're
love.
but you want another one so bad you can't
I
stand
do.
it.
Do it, do
Because
it,
when
do
I
it.
think about when I could, I mean, and it takes so long until you can feel them. But once you can feel them, there is nothing like it. Like when I had Gunner, I would miss him being in my belly just because like I would sit there and talk to him and
Yeah.
I would like feel him moving around and like, but it's awesome. But the coolest thing is when they come out and you see them like doing certain things and you're like, that's what they were doing in my belly. Like, cause when he is real sleepy, like he rubs his little feet together. And I remember being able to feel him do that, like
So
in my
weird.
ribs. Like I
So
could feel, because I
strange.
knew that's where his feet were. And I told Rand, because Randall does that when he is falling asleep, like he rubs his feet together. And when I was pregnant, you remember I told you, I said, this baby is rubbing his feet together
Yeah, no, you did.
when he's sleeping. And like things like that, I miss. I would love to have
He
another
still
baby.
does that. Me and him. He does everything I do. Like I'll rub my feet either on rub them together, and you'll hear it almost like sandpaper, like shh, profusely. And he still to this day, if he's laying beside you,
He rubs
he'll be
them
rubbing
on
his
you.
feet
Yeah.
on your leg or on his feet, or But have you had hiccups yet? The baby had hiccups
I
yet?
haven't been able to discern it.
Once she has, and the same thing happened to me where I was like, everybody says that about the baby having hiccups, and how do you tell? But once she gets them,
Yeah.
you'll be like, oh, that's it, because
Yeah.
it's very like rhythmic.
Yeah.
It's like you just feel her going like, and then like, oh, definitely
Like,
has hiccups.
Like I thought, I think was it today? Like it felt like it was kind of rhythmic. So I was like, I wonder if that's the hiccup, but I'm not sure.
I detest the hiccups, by the way.
I do
How
too.
badly do I hate getting the hiccups, Christina?
You do. Hate
How bad
it.
do I? That's
Oh my God.
weird. We
That is-
are related.
Fucking can't stand
I
it.
almost
Randall-
blow out my brains.
If he has them,
When
if
I
he
get
has them for
hiccups.
10 minutes, yeah.
Dude.
Once Gunnar started getting them when he was in my belly, though, he got them all the time, and
Yeah.
it's just as annoying. Like when you have the hiccups and it's annoying. it's just as annoying like when the baby has them because it's like enough already because it's like they're on your bladder.
Do you ever read those? I guess they're like I see them online, or I don't know if it's like Wikipedia or Ripley's Believe It or Not or whatever, but you'll read these like crazy facts like John Smith was in he was like fragged in the Korean War, and they fished his body out of the sea and he somehow recovered, but he had this weird brain injury, and so for the rest of his life he lived another like 57 years and he had hiccups for the whole rest of his life. It never went away. And you're like, how did that man not blow his fucking brains out after like 45 minutes of that? I'm not even talking about he lived another 57 years with hiccups. I'm talking about those hiccups don't go away in 15 minutes. I'm slitting my own wrists.
Yeah. Well, we have Shannon Thompson, right? Friend, we both know him. He had him for almost a year and had to have surgery.
Fuck that.
And what they found out from him, though, was his was steroid induced. One of the esters that he had. Once he dropped it, they went away.
Oh shit!
Well, you didn't let Christina answer that question, so it's hindsight. It's 2020, right? Like when I was pregnant, if you asked me that, I was very on the fence. Remember, I was like, so like. Yeah, like, are you ready to sign up again?
I definitely am. I mean, I'm scared to fuck to have to go through labor.
Yeah. I thought she was going to say I'm scared to fuck. What happened?
I was
Jason has a huge dick. It's like a Coke can, and I'm like, really terrified of that thing.
The labor really frightens me, but I know that I'll get through it and whatever. But I've gone through phases. Like right now I'm in an okay phase. But I went through a phase where I'm like, this fucking blows.
Right.
You know, like
it's the same. I did the
getting
same.
bigger and nothing fits and I'm emotional and I'm just like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But now it's, this trimester hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
So I would do it again. I mean, it's pretty cool to, I have moments where I'm like, holy shit, there's a baby in there.
I know.
Yeah.
And when you see the baby, it's just
magical.
like, really, holy shit, there's really a baby.
You feel her move and stuff, and it's like,
once you get to that point, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Have y'all had the 3D ultrasound yet?
We haven't had the 3D one yet.
I don't know.
Gunner's pictures are up there. His 3D ones are like behind some shit up there.
Oh, I see him.
You can see his fucking face.
Yeah, you can see.
Like, that's Gunner's face.
That is 3 dimensions.
Like, that was when he's in my tummy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He looks exactly the same. We knew he looked like me then.
Look at that. We haven't really talked about getting it done. Is that gonna?
Yeah, I got it.
Because that's not like a normal. You have to like go.
You just make it. Yeah, they have one here that's like. I mean, I think it was like $75.
Yeah.
And they like. I mean, they give you like a printout, and they give you like a CD with the whole thing, like the whole video of it.
That's a really good deal because I paid $147 to have a psychic / tarot reader / palm reader sketch with crayons our baby, and she actually drew a penis, and I was like, you're psychic, you're supposed to know it's a girl, but you drew a dick and balls, and I'm paying you $147 for this. I'm starting to think, and I know it was a couple days later, so the check had already cleared. I really couldn't find her again because she's a gypsy, but I was really thinking, I'm pretty sure I got hoodwinked. I'm pretty sure I was bamboozled because I'm not sure that lady was truly psychic after all.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that would have been a better deal, $75, and I get an actual picture.
And you get an actual picture of the, and they get, like, you get to see them moving around. That was the cool, like, we were sitting there, I was like, I could watch this all fucking day. Like, it was awesome. And he was like, he rolled over and showed us for sure he was a boy. It's like, oh, yep, definitely still a boy. And he was... He behaved very well. He cooperated for that too. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because I'm sure Randall is like, as much as I talk about how I would love to have another baby, he's like, he loves to throw it in my face that like, you hated being pregnant. I'm like, I didn't hate it.
No, I don't say that. I say
it's hard.
The way that I've explained it isn't that you hated it. It was more like what
you said. I was miserable.
I say you were great.
It's work.
Then you were okay. Then the last month.
Yeah, the last month I was miserable.
Like, I know the rose color, like when you weigh it all, of course it's worth it. Everything's great.
In the grand scheme of things,
but
yes.
I can remember what I think you might not of, like, how bad your breathing was at the end because you couldn't get comfortable. Like, I remember those things way more than you because I'm, as a guy, I want to make, as your husband, I want to make it better. And when I can't do dick because you're a
It was
huge
just anatomy. Yeah, like that last month, I couldn't
And you've got
breathe.
a fully functioning person now in there, and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
It's kind of a, that burns
When
into your
you
brain.
start breeding, do you think, man, we really are animals?
Yes.
Like human beings
Yes.
really
Yes.
are.
Yes.
Like we're creatures. We're not like that different than this
exactly.
cow or this monkey. Like, you know, if you grow up in a Western country that Christianity is part of the culture, you kind of think of like, God created the animals and then Adam and Eve to kind of, we are the bosses of these animals. We're not animals ourselves. But then when you get into the thick of this shit, you're like, no, we're just creatures.
Dude,
you're like,
we're just animals,
with Brooke, she had a C-section. I don't know if y'all know.
the
She
way
had
he's rolling his penis right now, I mean, he's definitely a fucking animal right
She
here.
had
Definitely.
an emergency C-section.
His dick
Yeah.
booger.
They were trying to induce her and everything, and she just wouldn't dilate. And Gunner's, first off, her blood pressure was like stroke high.
Oh.
So they came over and they talked to me, and they were like, the doctor, who was fantastic, she was like, I think we should go ahead and go get him.
Well, it was because his heart rate was dropping.
And I
with
was like,
contractions.
she said her blood pressure's too high.
Yeah.
His heart rate's dropping. I was like, done deal. Do it. Let's go.
Do what you got to
Yeah.
do.
So in 15 minutes, within 15 minutes, they had her cut in half. And I was
Yeah.
in there. And you want to
Doesn't
talk about
take
being
long.
an animal. They had, and her little scar's that big. You can't
Yeah.
even see it.
It's-
But they had her
it's
guts
like way down
on
here
her
and it's
stomach.
like that big.
She's awake. She's awake with just a sheet, and I'm looking over. I'm like, and she's like, get a picture. So I've got a picture over that
I was
we'll
like,
find
I'm
and
getting
show
cut
you.
in
Her
half. You
guts
take
and the
Sure,
baby
you
coming
don't
out.
too. I'd wanna
I
see.
kind of don't want nightmares
Please
tonight.
don't. But what's beautiful is
So she
They
looks
were-
like an extra from the Normandy beach scene in Saving Private
looked-
Ryan,
Right.
basically.
looks
Or like
fake.
House of a Thousand Corpses.
But
Yeah.
she didn't feel a thing. The pressure, all she
No.
felt was the pressure. They had him out
was-
within minutes,
Yeah, they're quick.
and she's good. Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
crazy
best advice that
how-
I've ever given to anybody pregnant is like, because I kind of went into it not really caring whether it was normal, like regular birth or C-section, not knowing that was probably the best decision that I made, like going into it, because then I've met other people that are like dead set on like, I'm not having a fucking
Yeah.
C-section,
I
and I'm
don't
like,
get
hey,
No, if
like,
your health's at risk,
right,
sorry.
if
You
your
know.
health or the baby's health is at risk, because then it just makes everything more stressful, and like, just go into it with like, doesn't matter what happens, like you're having a baby either
That's
way.
how I feel. Like
Yeah.
I looked into C-section and how, and the recovery looks a little bit more intense because you're getting cut into.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I have I don't feel tied to pushing a baby out my vagina.
Right.
Like I don't feel like I have to do that.
good.
I was
Like,
actually more scared to do that. Like
Yeah.
I was out.
Yeah, that's
I was,
how I feel.
I was a tiny bit relieved when they said it was a C-section, and then all that hit me. Then I was like, oh fuck!
Let me
They're
tell
about
you.
to cut me in half, and then they pumped me
I've-
full of all these drugs. And remember, I was looking at Randall. I was like, I'm loaded. Like I'm high.
high
Is
as
the baby gonna get fucked up? Like I was like, I kept asking the nurses. I'm like, the baby doesn't get any of this, and they were like, no, the baby. And I was
Just
like,
for you.
really? Like
I've seen
funny.
I've seen both. I've seen my ex had shit him out, and then Brooke had the C-section.
Yeah.
so classy.
So
The other way is way more like, as brutal as I made that sound, the guts and everything. Literally, they make an incision like that, and our skin just stretches.
Yeah.
It's incredible, and it doesn't. No cooter's destroyed. There's no episiotomy.
Yeah,
there's
so
No,
about-
there's none of that, but it's still a hot mess.
Oh, well,
down
your
there.
body's
Don't
fixing it,
fucking get
yeah.
it twisted. I was like, oh, nobody.
about
your
the
uterus.
about the
Yeah.
cooter destruction that occurs when the baby is birthed vaginally,
Yes.
as God intended, I think. I'm playing. Please, I'm playing. But is it true that sometimes there will be tears that
Oh God, why'd you have to bring this?
not only not only is it a tear, but it's such a tear that it joins the vagina
Yes.
and the anus into one opening called a vaginus.
Well, yeah, they sew it back up though. But yeah, that does happen.
So you don't keep
So
a
it's not
vaginus.
actually comedy,
You don't keep it a vagina.
especially where your wife is
No.
pregnant. That's not comedy.
No.
But somebody out there might think that was funny. A
But your
vaginus.
wife doesn't, who you have to go home with.
That's also true. So Should I or should I not expect Roadhead on the way home?
You should not.
Never.
I don't think she could get into a position to give you.
I don't think she could. No, I don't think she could.
Because one of the things that scares the fuck out of me is like I've been hearing about all the tears.
Yeah.
Like I
I'm
got a new
sorry.
patient,
Yeah.
and she's like, she was either 4 weeks, 4 months. I don't remember. I think I was having a hard time talking to her, and she's like, I have a 4th degree tear through the fucking muscle,
Well, listen.
and I'm like,
that's
oh my god.
what she's doing though is what everyone does, right? Like with all my surgeries, you want to one up, right? So
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, well my surgery now I did this. I'll tell you straight up, no bullshit. I'll give you the straight truth. I've seen both. My ex had to have an episiotomy. When she had to have that done, she was in a state of like, who gives a shit? Let's get him out. We're done. It was real quick, done. Didn't make any difference. Now, the look of it as a viewer was great from the sheet and just
Well, it's
having
more
to look for a
disturbing,
second.
I think, for depending on the guy. Some guys don't mind seeing.
No, but everything heals. It's amazing.
Some guys are down with
That-
vaginal
Oh, but
mutilation, is
still,
what you're
it's
saying?
gonna hurt.
because they
I
don't look
know.
at it that way. They look at it as
see.
the birth of their child, and they
I
don't look
see.
at it as
Yes.
like, I gotta fuck that.
Please.
I don't have that many inches. Don't ruin that.
Because I told Randall, I mean, when we went into the hospital, I was like, you're not fucking looking. Because, I mean, before I was getting a C-section and thought I was just having him naturally, like, I was like, you're not leaving my shoulder. Like, I don't, because he's already seen it with his ex-wife. I'm like, you know what it looks like. So let's just not do that. Like, and I was just horrified of, I mean, because they even came in at like 5 a.m. to like give me a fucking enema, and Randall's
Oh, yeah.
sleeping on the
Oh, yeah, I
goddamn.
remember you mentioning
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god! And
but
I was like,
That's just good practice, though.
You looking back
Clean
though,
me out.
all that said and done, and you would
and I would do it
you
again.
would jump right now if I could shoot a load that
Not
would
only
knock
that-
you up. You would tell them to leave immediately.
Yeah, oh,
and we
I'm
would
out.
end this
If
podcast.
we
I'll
could
hold the
guarantee
camera.
it, yeah, we've been trying 2 years.
Yeah,
and
she would jump on that.
I wish you guys would. I hope you do. That would be so much fun.
Well, I'd made a deal. We had made a deal that when she turned 40, we were done. Not going to try anymore, and I was going to get the snippety doodah, but I haven't yet, honestly, because I'm scared.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
You never know. We weren't like really planning the last one, but I'm getting up there. I'm
But
40.
I don't think your numbers matter as much. How old are you?
40.
40.
Yeah, we're both 40.
And I got all, but like when I was 38 and I got off the pill, and then like I went to the doctor and got like tests and got on some kind of medication for like some kind of hormone or what was it?
Something in the brain. There's
Something
by
related to my
That
pituitary.
was throwing off your hormones.
The prolactin.
Yeah.
Prolactin, yeah.
It was higher than it should have been. So I had to get on
Scared the
something.
shit out of me because basically Dr. Robbins was like, could be a brain tumor.
No.
Could
Oh,
just
shit.
need this medicine. We'll try. And
Well,
the medicine, of course, cures
Yes,
it.
and he said if it was a brain tumor, it would be way higher typically.
Yeah, but don't tell a guy like me that that's possible because then my life is over
Freak me
until
out.
I see that it's
Right.
not that.
Well, that medicine-
I don't sleep until we know it's not a
It
brain
fixed
tumor.
all
Dude, you
that.
don't want to be a single dad, period.
No.
To the end.
No,
I don't
I
want that.
don't
You
want
don't want that. I don't want to.
Well, but yeah, so I got other tests too.
I
I
need
went
my
and I
partner.
went back and got like other things. Like everything was tip top shape for me. So it was. We were to the point of like Randall had to go get his shit tested, and that's where he was like, "No, we're just letting it ride." And so like we just let it ride, and nothing
Yeah,
happened.
I don't know. Like, so when you guys, because you guys tried for a while,
He's produced
did,
2
yeah.
kids though
you
too, which is
had
weird.
to go and do the full blown in the cup.
Oh yeah, I had to do the blow in the cup.
How
Exactly
was
what I did.
that emotionally and getting in the right mind? Like,
Yeah.
did you do it at home and
Yeah.
then deliver it? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of expected from what I'd seen on television and everything like that that it would be performed at the clinic. That you would they would
By
That's what I'm
nurse.
picturing.
they'd give you a
70s porn.
They'd give you like an old Playboy magazine that was like dog-eared corners and a cup like this from Racetrack. So go in and make something happen, and you'd go in and you'd be like jerking it to some huge bush porn.
The
and
pressure
just like,
of that.
Jesus, look at that lady's bush. I can't see anything. That could even be a dude with a micro penis. There's so much pubic hair. I couldn't tell. And you're trying to do something, you make it work, and then you hand him the cup. Almost like when you leave a urine sample at the doc.
Yeah.
You pee, and then you put the cup in the little thing. You don't even walk out of the bathroom with the cup. You just leave it in the little canister in the wall.
But you didn't have to do that. You got to
No,
take it home. And
they gave me a cup, and she said, take this home, produce a sample, but make sure you get it here in 30 minutes.
So you go in holding a cup with a huge oyster in it, and you have to watch someone look at it that you hand it to.
Yeah, and
they're holding your oyster.
Judging you.
Yeah, and I can't believe it because I'm thinking this lady must be so disgusted because I just handed her a cup full of my jizz. Like, I understand it's clinical.
It's medical to them.
It's medical, but I mean, I do think that the second time I did, I do think the lady was kind of like, I think she was a little bit like, you know what? It's not my favorite part
I think
of
it was
job.
because you came in with like 15 cups, and they were like, you only needed to give us one, sir.
You've been collecting it for
Overachiever.
weeks?
Why are you bringing us 30 samples?
Okay, Howard Hughes, you don't need to collect it for 3 weeks in gallon jugs and then bring it all in. We just need one shot in the cup.
See, my doctor's notorious for me leaving piss tests every time I see her. And every time I pee and I hold the cup, I'm like, mine's hotter than everyone else's. There's no way mine isn't the hottest piss on
Well,
earth.
there's no way that anyone else's is as yellow or orange as yours.
Well, that's what I'm
is.
saying. Do you ever go and because I have this thought every time I go, because I'm diabetic, as I've mentioned many times. I'm type 1 diabetic, and that increases the incidence of chronic kidney disease by 75%.
Sure.
It's actually one of the biggest risks to my health moving forward as a diabetic. It's not the diabetes that necessarily messes you up. It's conditions related to the damage that hyperglycemia causes in terms of the microvasculature, and some of that is the kidneys, and can really mess you up. So my endocrinologist, as any good endocrinologist would, they're very concerned about your glomerular filtration, right? Your creatinine secretion, your microalbumin.
Just your
in
fucking
urine.
kidneys.
Yes. So, but they want to look at your pee.
Yes.
Very nicely said, Christina.
Yeah, God damn
Just
it.
damn kidneys.
Can I not sound smart? I'm trying to redeem myself from that 87 I got on that fucking final.
And
the other
that's
day.
how you finally say that. I always am like, why is she checking my creatine levels? It's
creatinine.
the creatinine. Okay.
Creatinine. It's
Creatinine.
actually a byproduct, it's a downstream byproduct of creatine.
Gotcha.
So they check my pee, and every time I think, wouldn't it be a funny prank to just bring a little bit of orange food coloring and do the pee, and then just do 3 or 4 drops of the orange food coloring and just make it the brownest, and then just leave it there for them so that the nurse comes in and goes, holy shit!
Just take some
Jesus,
of
man,
mine.
come get back in here. You know?
Just
Admit
take a
him
cup
to
of
the
mine,
hospital.
Jason.
Yeah.
And mine as brown as this table.
First thing in
Bro,
the
you
And
need
morning.
to
thick
drink
as
more.
toothpaste.
You need
Yeah.
to.
I'm
Oh,
kidding. It's
bro.
not that bad. But it has gotten that. Let me tell you a funny story.
Look at my wife's face right now. She is
wants to
so
talk
fucking
about it.
concerned for you.
She wants to talk about it.
that's
It's
fine.
not
I know,
that
just
bad.
going
She is
through my
wor-
head
Now listen.
what the issues
Dude,
are.
she is worried about her friend.
So is Brooke.
I know.
I don't drink enough water. When I drink
No.
water like I should, my pee is as clear as your
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works.
But when I
Right.
don't, I have peed literally like a damn blowtorch before, where I'm like, why is it so hot? Why is it this color? Then Brooke goes and puts in this new magic light so I don't piss on the floor anymore, like
Fantastic.
a kid aim in
Because
the
he's
toilet.
a fucking. It's,
And it has
worst.
it has 4 colors, but when it's red and I'm asleep, my
Yeah, it
brain
lights up
goes
the
to,
toilet.
I just pissed blood. That's happened to me 3 times since we've had it.
But
I'm
it
like,
changes
holy
colors,
God,
while
the
you're
kidney
there.
disease is finally...
Yeah, I knew it. I
I
knew.
knew it was going to hit me.
I knew this is
Too
how it
many
was going to
Mountain
end,
Dews.
but I just didn't want it to be so soon.
Jesus Christ, it scared the
Yeah.
shit out of me. But
Yeah, she
yes,
complained about me pissing on the floor once. I shit in the sink.
that's the way to do it.
But your pee gets really dark too, so we've
It
been
does.
trying to work on your hydration.
Yeah, I agree. We do try to work
Which
on
is
my
a double
hydration.
whammy with your diabetes.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm not sold on the importance of good hydration, because it is important for the kidneys to drink a lot of fluid and a lot of water intake. I mean, you really want
not
clear
just
pee.
Mountain Dew.
No,
babe.
I tell anyone that'll hear, I own the fact that I am an awful,
Except for when I try and
awful
talk to
example. Like, people will be like, you lift weights, you exercise, that's incredible. If they knew how horrible I treat my body with diet. That's why it's funny to have them on and their new show, which I think is great, what they're doing. I want to talk about that.
Word.
Is if I could get myself, I'm such a creature of habit, and this has become my way of get up every morning, I go to racetrack, I get my drinky poo, which is a Mountain Dew the size of Texas.
Ooh.
I
a
fill
lot of
that
sugar.
again all day. Basically, just keep it topped off.
I don't think I can listen.
I know.
Yeah, she's plugging her ears. La
think
la
I
la
need
la
to
la
go
la
to
la
my
la
now.
la la la.
Disturbing. It's disturbing.
And if I could just find a way to break that cycle I can also replace it with another habit that would be good. It's just a matter of the change.
So
I've tried to
I
make it
think
water.
instead of drinking all that Mountain Dew, it actually might be healthier for you to just smoke crack. I think it actually might be actually improvement.
Heroin?
Heroin,
Maybe take up heroin.
Just black tar heroin straight to the vein.
But
Hot rail that shit.
But of all seriousness, I think you said something that's part of how you would change the habit is you got to replace the habit with something else. But it has to have an equivalent reward. So you have to, at the end of the day, at the end of the behavior, it has to give you some type of similar pleasure that you get out of drinking the Mountain Dew and the Dr. Pepper, and or you got to change like your routine up, like your the habit. It's like so reinforced in your brain that it requires absolutely zero energy, and to change it even a little bit, that requires a lot of energy, and therefore it's really difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like a whole process.
Yeah.
But
That's why it can be so difficult
dig out of
sometimes.
it. It just takes a lot. You just got to know going into it. It's going to be really hard. It's going to take time, but over time, you'll develop the same muscle memory and the same habit, and the energy like goes down.
Yeah, because I've got a wife here that will. I could come in to her and be like, babe, I tore my tricep off of my elbow.
My arm fell off.
She's like, it's because you don't drink enough water.
Yeah, it's because
It doesn't.
I blame everything on lack of hydration.
dude, she does that. I got a headache. You're probably not drinking enough water.
Oh, of course.
It is true.
Which that is a true.
That's the
I'm
first
been
constipated. You probably don't drink enough water. I've got
That's true
diarrhea.
also.
I've got diarrhea. You probably don't drink enough water.
Well, no, now you need to drink more.
The doctor says I have ball cancer. You probably don't drink enough water.
All of that. I mean, yeah, that is very true. I mean, we saw that thing on Facebook, I think one time, where it was like the guy was like, my arm fell off, my wife, you don't drink enough water.
and it's not like it's hypocritical because she drinks water all day.
All day.
She pees so much that it exhausts me. I think that's another reason I don't drink water. Is because when I do drink
That's
a lot,
bullshit,
I
Randall.
pee every 10 minutes.
Well, and that goes away. Your body just isn't used to drinking that much water. So once your body actually gets used to being hydrated, the frequency of you going pee will decrease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Hydrate or
Quit
dihydrate?
What else you got, Randall?
Quit proving me wrong.
Hydrate or dihydrate?
He can't get past the
Welcome
part
to Jason's life.
of not. I mean, yeah, because he'll try like one day drinking more water than usual, which is any. Really, and then
I
he'll be
had
like,
an ounce today.
yeah, he'll be like, I've peed 4 times today. I'm like, like what?
Normally, it's only 3 a week.
Your kidneys are working. That's good.
She'll tell you too. It's funny because when I do drink water, like I'll chug it. Like I've waited so long.
Oh, yeah.
I'll drink like a 40 ouncer, and she'll be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Oh, I'm like, do we need to go to
It's
the
not-
hospital?
yeah,
Because he
she's
waits till it's like 911, like his kidneys are about to shut down, like, and then he'll just sit there and chug like a gallon of it in the kitchen. I'm like, if you would just
Yeah. So
layer it in.
have you been? How long have you been type 1 diabetic?
2007, I was diagnosed. So about 12 years. Coming up on 12 years. Not quite 12 years yet, but coming up on 12 years.
And does it run in your family?
The thing about type 1 diabetes, it's really a kind of a crazy disease. It's not as genetically...
But it does run in your family.
I'm answering the question, honey. Honey.
It's
The man
it's
asked
just
the
your
diabetic
kidneys.
guy the question. Okay, I'm the expert. I know everything. Just kidding. Love you. I'm going to pay for that later.
I just give them a straight answer.
Type 2 diabetes is much more like genetically linked, like heredity-wise. If you have a sibling with type 2 diabetes, there's such a genetic component to type 2 diabetes that if your sibling has type 2, you have an 86% likelihood of also being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in the future. With type 1, the incidence level between siblings is much lower. So the current understanding of type 1 diabetes is that there is a genetic component, but it's nowhere near as big a deal with regard to getting it as type 2. That it's more of it's an autoimmune response. Your body kind of attacks your pancreas and fucks it up. But I do have a first cousin who has type 1 diabetes, and I'm not sure if that's so much a genetic thing as it is just, if you have enough, if you have enough cousins, you're bound to have 2 with type 1. But hopefully Evelyn won't. That's the thing I worry about. I don't want to pass diabetes on to little Evie.
Well, so aren't we to a point almost in the science? Haven't they been able to like grow a pancreas? Didn't I read something about that? Like they're on the front of
I sure fucking hope so.
type 1 diabetes.
I would
I think there's a lot of research that they're working on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they may have a cure for type 1 before they have a cure for type 2 because of there's several things that go. There's a whole cluster of things that can occur with type 2. With type 1, it's fairly straightforward. Your autoimmune system destroys your cells that are responsible for producing the insulin, so you don't produce insulin. And the primary treatment is give yourself insulin. It's very, very hard to control the homeostasis of too much insulin, too much carbs, not enough insulin, not enough carbs. So it's very difficult to manage, but it's still fairly straightforward what the issue is physiologically.
So you bodybuilded, is that a word?
I bodybuilded.
You
It is now.
You bodybuilded as a diabetic.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're a smart guy. We all know that. We've heard the big words. We know that you're.
Even though I got an
obsessive
87
about
on my
my
nutrition
God.
pathophysiology final, which I think is horse shit.
But you dropped enough big words
So
to
I
try
don't-
to make up for it.
I know, but I don't feel smart anymore. I used to feel smart, and I don't feel smart anymore. I feel like a fucking failure.
But so how
If I was Asian, I would have killed myself.
how did you rationalize that in your head?
Terrible.
Like all the stuff that goes into bodybuilding,
Mm.
is that a conducive sport for a diabetic?
Oh, no.
That sounds
Any,
like
It's
terrible.
not conducive for
not.
anybody.
It really, no, it's honestly, I hate to say it because I still do love bodybuilding and I love
course.
bodybuilders, but honestly, it's not the healthiest thing to do. And I think that about powerlifting too, as much as I love my powerlifter friends. I don't think being 300 pounds, and I don't think completely avoiding cardio because you want to add more mass and all you do is lift and crazy cheat meals at McDonald's. I don't think it's a good thing to put your heart through. Period.
Well, and I know that this is going to bore some people, but
Even drug-free bodybuilding and drug-free powerlifting, when you're 300 pounds,
Yeah.
do you think that's even real? That people that say they're natural bodybuilders are really natural?
if they're 300 pounds and they're ripped, then no, they're not. But a lot of the natural bodybuilders that tell me they're natural and they look like Michael Phelps, they look like a swimmer,
Yeah.
then I believe them because
Sure.
I'm like, dude, you're skinnier than my dick right now, and this dick is pretty average, so you're skinny. You're ripped as shit, but you're skinny. You can see that they've got that natural look. But the guys that say they're natural, when it's such bullshit, they're like round and full, and they're like 240 and fucking lean.
Moon faced,
Yeah,
face
and you're
is
just
all
like,
bloated.
get the fuck. You're not natural. Get the fuck out of here. You know, look, lie to your mom, lie to your grandma, lie to your priest, but don't lie to me.
Yeah.
You can lie to God, but you can't lie to the devil.
Well, so how would you say that after you've been a bodybuilder, because you made it out the other side? I know I've got plenty of friends, we've been common friends, that could not do that. Like it's such a, I guess you'd say an addiction when you get
Yeah.
into that lifestyle of bodybuilding.
Psychologically.
And the body dysmorphia that comes to guys. How is that? How
Real.
did you handle that? Was that real for you? Did you
For sure.
experience any of that? And-
Yeah, for sure. Like I experienced, and I would say that even to some degree continue to experience that type of thing because it's, you look a certain way, and you look the way you want to look as a bodybuilder, even if you're a little self-critical, which most bodybuilders are, at least a little, because they say, I could lose a little bit more fat back here, or I could make my quads a little bit bigger. But usually, once you're to that point, you're still pleased with your overall look. You're pleased that you're bigger than most people. You're pleased that you're leaner than most people.
course, yeah.
You're pleased that people look at you when you're out in public, and when you're at the gym, people are like, oh, fuck, man, how do you, that people kind of hit you up, and they're always kind of, you get that, particularly for somebody like me who I kind of thrive on attention, and I enjoy and appreciate that.
Nuh-uh.
I know it's hard to believe, but please just
Just
bear
hear
with
me
me.
out.
Hear me out. Yeah. So it is kind of. I mean, it's tough to stop, but at the same time, like I feel like it was a point where I could have kept going. There was a part of me that wanted to keep going. There was a part of me, but then there was a bigger part of me that like did not want to be divorced. 'Cause my wife is like, I'm not sticking around to watch you die.
Yeah.
And
Smart.
like there were just other things that like I had more interest in my life than bodybuilding, and I knew that if I just threw it all into bodybuilding, I mean, Rich Piana died right around the time that I was being diagnosed, and then what's his face, Dallas McCarver died, and it's like, dude, do I want to be 46 like Rich Piana and dying of heart failure? I was just like, no, you know what, I I didn't really want to give up the physique.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I thought, you know what, I also had like a little cognitive dissonance because I knew that being a diabetic and doing drugs and weightlifting and eating McDonald's and cheat meals and stuff was just not, it's not good for my heart. I know that because I'm in school for that. I know the risks. I know the percentage rates of kidney failure and stuff like that.
So what's that like for you, Christina? Like, so when you met Alme, was he bodybuilding or
He was.
So you meet the guy, he's got abs of steel, huge guns. I've seen the pictures, and Jason's still a jacked guy. That's pretty impressive.
Dick like an 8-year-old Asian boy.
But you got the ripped abs and all that, and I'm sure like any woman, you love that. But I'm asking this because even for me, like when a lot of times I know my physical body with all my injuries is not going to hold up to me lifting 6 days a week like I do now. I know it's going to go away, and I just won't be able to do it physically. And being totally honest, the big worry of mine is, I don't want my wife to think I'm a disgusting piece of shit because she's used to me, and I know she doesn't. 100, she gives two shits. But so did you have to have that talk to him? Like, I don't care about that. Like, I just want you here for
100%. And I think actually, because he was so big, I actually prefer his physique now because like it was just when I would just look at him, I'm like unhealthy. I think like I can't unhealthy. Not be a dietitian, and so I look at it as like I know what you're doing to maintain that, and I think it's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. And we had a lot of those. I would try to keep it to myself because I'm like, this is your thing. If you give me an open window, we're going to talk about it. And when you got the cardiomyopathy diagnosis, that was like a fucking blown open window, and I was not holding back.
She was like, "You're done, motherfucker."
But
I'll have to retire your ass.
So, and I think what's difficult for him now is post that lifestyle is that no, you can still have a good physique without, but that I think
I don't, but you can. I mean, I believe that you can.
I think you 100% can. I think people who go down that path
doesn't like me that much.
They come off of that path and they think that I can't do it without A, B, C, D.
Or I don't want
to. I'm talking about the steroids.
Steroids, yeah.
And I just think that's just bullshit, especially given the professions we're in.
To play devil's advocate, you're right about the professions we're in. That was a big cognitive dissonance for me. But the thing about the steroids is not like we think that you can't have a good body. I mean, I've seen so many natural dudes with great physiques that look awesome, but it's a different physique.
Yeah.
And it's very much like you can have a nice car, like Toyota makes nice cars.
Sure.
Like you can buy a nicer end, you can pay for the extras, the leather seats and stuff like that. And you can have a really nice Toyota. But like if you've been driving a fucking Lambo, excuse me, if you've been driving a fucking Lambo and that thing is fast and fucking everyone looks at you when you get out of that thing and you got that big dick energy, you can have the nicest fucking Toyota, upgrade it to a Lexus, I don't give a shit. You're driving this nice Lexus and you're thinking this is a really nice car. People should envy this car, and some people do, but it's like you still look at that fucking dude in the lane next to you with that fucking Lambo, and that's the trend. That Lambo is the trend, and it's yellow, and it's the most gaudiest ass color, and this dude is like some 25-year-old tech startup guy, and you're just like, fuck you, just fuck you, kid. I can't believe you're driving that fucking car. That's my car, and I'm in this nice ass Lexus, but I'm still thinking, you motherfucker.
Right there.
So it's you have to wrap your head around it. And honestly, I wanted to live more than I wanted to keep bodybuilding.
Totally.
So, and I'm fairly well convinced that with my condition, the diabetes, the cardiomyopathy, if I'd continued to live that lifestyle, I might have made it another 5 years, another 8 years, but I don't think it would have been a full life. And I'd rather have a full life.
Yeah.
I like doing other things. I like school. I like podcasting. I like meeting new people like you. I mean, I don't know if maybe you guys will agree with this sentiment, but I feel like sometimes a bad thing happens to you that in the moment, like that month, you're thinking, this is really awful. And I was terrified about the cardiomyopathy for a while. They had me legit scared that I was going to go into cardiac arrest and die. And so I was pretty freaked out for a little while, but now that that's healed and the cardiologist only wants to see me once a year just because of my history, otherwise he's like, dude, your heart looks perfect.
Well, no, that's good.
But I don't know, maybe you guys will agree that sometimes when a bad thing happens that really in the moment feels bad, maybe a couple of years later, you'll have a different perspective and you'll look back and you might even be thankful for that bad thing that happened.
Absolutely. All the time.
Yeah.
Because
All
it could
the
have
time.
been death.
Yeah. Or maybe even
It just
that.
made you like rethink certain things, or like just take a step back and look at, like, it made you appreciate
Well, what's
other
crazy
things
though,
more, or
yeah.
what I'm trying to,
Or you find yourself in a better situation because you quit
because you
doing
change
something.
certain things. Yeah.
And it's like, I wouldn't be here hanging out with you guys. We wouldn't have had a lovely dinner. We wouldn't text each other.
Yeah.
I mean, like this friendship wouldn't exist if I didn't get that cardiomyopathy, because I would not have stopped bodybuilding to start podcasting, because
Yeah.
bodybuilding was so all consuming that even though I was interested in the time at podcasting, I would never have considered taking the time away from the bodybuilding to do all of the things that you need to do to properly podcast. And so the reason why I'm friends with any of the guys that I'm friends with now, you guys,
Yeah.
Adam, Joe B, Chris, Riley, all the folks that I've hung out with in real life, more guys than that too, and some of the guys that I haven't hung out with, but I'd still love to, like Kaz out in Arizona. Man, I'd love to hang out with that dude.
oh,
but-
that dude's the tits.
dude, I mean, well, he'd probably get me high as shit, which would be.
He's so great.
My wife would
and when I
approve.
did Comedy is Dead 3 with him, that's such a great show too, by the way.
I think it was a great idea.
for the way that it brings, I like the flavor of bringing all the different people together, because you wouldn't have gotten me, Hunter, Bobby Moore, and
bathroom with
Kaz
you?
all together in a room,
Yeah.
and they're all fucking fantastic
Yeah.
dudes. But what I was wanting to highlight with that is just it's interesting to me, because you can see how rational both you and Christina are both super smart and all that you know about it, but you can still see the twinkle in your eye when you talk about bodybuilding and steroids, like a former addict almost, when they see like, you know, their mouth starts to salivate, like a dog when they just know they're about to eat. Like, that's how strong of a bodybuilding of a sport. And I never got into bodybuilding. I've always been more of like the power lifter for weight size. Obviously, because I don't have the discipline, clearly, with the diet. I could never. So I respect how disciplined bodybuilders are, but it's such a strong force. It's incredible. You don't see guys come out the other side very often, so it just interests the shit out of me.
I guess it is kind of rare, but I mean, I guess I'm happy that I had other interests, and I'm glad that I had a supportive wife to kind of, you know,
Kick you in the ass.
kick me in the ass and say, why don't you get in that podcasting thing instead of.
Well, and you know what you're going to
juicing
like
up
even
and-
more than all that is being a dad.
I can't fucking wait. That is something that I am stoked about. I'm so looking forward to
It's
that
the
shit.
best,
Yeah.
being a parent.
Yeah, that's gonna be-
so fun.
Awesome to
Yeah.
see when you guys when you have
Yeah.
her. So what made you guys decide on Evelyn? Have y'all announced the name, by the way?
We have. We tell everybody.
Okay.
Everybody that will listen to
If
me.
not, I'll take that right back.
Bleep that out, guys. You'll never hear that. That's going on the cutting room floor.
Evelyn Alme.
Evelyn Alme, yes. Evelyn Marie, we're going to name her. Her middle name is going to be Marie.
Oh,
And they're family names, so that's why we
cool.
decided we liked them. My dad was kind of like whoops, I didn't know we could still get pregnant kind of baby. So his older sisters are both very older than him. His eldest sister was named Evelyn, and she was 20 years older than him. And she unfortunately passed a few years ago. But, I mean, she lived to 85. So she had a nice, full, long
sure.
life. But she was a good aunt. She came and hung out with us when we were young. And so I got to spend a lot of time with her. She was like the first weirdo relative that was like, Jason, keep it in your pants. And I was like, this is weird. I'm 11. I'm going downstairs to play Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo. What the fuck are you talking about, Aunt Evelyn? She's like, keep your dick in your pants. If you get someone pregnant, it'll ruin your life. And I'm like, I'm going downstairs to play Street Fighter 2. Do you think I'm getting anyone fucking pregnant? I'm 11. So that was a weird conversation, but I appreciate her for having the tough combo with me. And she's just a good aunt. And so I liked the name Evelyn, and it was our aunt. And then Marie, would you like to, or are you kind of recovering from the sniffles?
It's my grandmother's middle name.
Oh.
Well, I've got
It's
a
a family
great
name,
question
so-
for
Yeah.
Christina. I want to
Very
hear this.
pretty.
So, have you guys even gotten this far, had this discussion yet about when you're going to have the talk with Evelyn already? Like, I'm sure,
I
have
have.
you guys discussed? Because I recently had to have it with my 14-year-old son. I've had a few, like I did it in partials with him from like 12, like we'd have a short
Yeah.
one. But we realized I had to have the full, so we were driving from Alabama to here one weekend. And man, was it brutal. I had to have the full blown verbiage, like had to be really clear.
Yeah.
Well,
So how do you envision that going down? Have y'all talked about that?
I don't think we've really talked about it, but
talked about it.
I've had really like
Thought about
vague
it.
thoughts. Yeah, where I've thought I'm going to need to do that in the future. Like I'm having a daughter. It's very real. And you know, I had a buddy at the gym actually who was telling me when he found out I was having a daughter. He said, you know, I've got a son, and so I kind of understand, but then I kind of also I don't envy you because when you've got a boy, you only have to worry about one penis. When you have a girl, you have to worry about all
the
of
penises.
the
Great
penises.
point.
Yeah.
All the penises
Yeah.
to ever walk
Yeah.
the earth.
So-
That's so true.
If you have a boy, you just worry about one penis, just his. You don't worry about every other penis in the county.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely. I imagine we're probably just gonna fill her vagina with concrete and just asphalt.
That's
just
the
pave
safest
over it.
way
Well,
to
can't you
just
buy
get
those
through teenage
chastity
years.
belts on Amazon?
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about the old school iron ones. That's what I would
Yeah.
get.
They'll have them now with like where Almy's face can unlock it only or
geez.
something like. And that's
weird.
Only on her
That is
wedding
weird.
night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only on
Dad.
the wedding date. All right, spread them, honey. Let's unlock you.
Dad, I'm 37. Will you do your thumb ID on my?
Oh, that's it.
Will you do your thumb ID on my Apple
You have to
chastity
put in your
belt?
passcode. That's the thing, though, is that like Randall had to have the whole discussion about like dick pics and stuff. So like, you never know what the technology is going to be like when like Gunnar and
Yeah.
Evelyn are that
Yeah.
age. You know, like it scares.
No, the biggest bulk of that chat I had to have with him was dick pics
And
the
consent.
repercussions and consent of.
I worry about that. I get scared.
No, like it's,
I get scared because kids don't make the best decisions, and you're 15 and you snap a pic of your titties and send it to one person, and it's
Nope.
like once that exists digitally, it's everywhere.
And that's child porn to police.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a buddy that's a cop that's told me he's an investigator and that 75% of what he does is 14, 15-year-old boys and girls that break up. The girl tells her dad, I sent him a picture of my boobies and he sent me a picture of his wiener. Dad gets mad, calls the police. Police have to investigate. They have to drop a charge on the girl for possessing child porn. Has to drop a charge on the boy for the same type of
Wow.
thing. And, you know, they have
That
to work
is
it
weird,
out.
though.
That's crazy.
That's strange because you know it's not statutory rape if two 15-year-olds have sex.
No.
But it is statutory rape if a 40-year-old fucks a 15-year-old.
But it's still illegal to own child porn, and that's technically child porn.
I guess
That's the whole thing is the child porn. It's not
Yeah.
the statutory.
it's odd that you can fuck one, but you can't own the naked pictures of one, though.
Yeah, well, what
isn't
is
that weird?
the laws of...
That came out wrong. Let's edit that part because I didn't mean that, people. I obviously.
Of course, I know exactly what you're meaning, but is it against the law to have sex under a certain age?
How are you going to prosecute
Like if you're both?
prosecute a 15-year-old for fucking another 15-year-old?
I don't think that's against the law.
That's not against
I
the
think
law.
you just can't be. You can't be an adult
Yeah.
having sex with somebody who's not
So
an adult.
kids can
as
fuck
well.
each other, but adults can't fuck children.
It's not quote unquote illegal.
For the record, I firmly believe that adults should not fuck children out there. Anyone listening, I
all
fall
do.
firmly on the stance of like, don't fuck children. There's plenty of adults. That
Well,
you
isn't
can-
there like the age of consent thing? Like you're not legally allowed to give consent until a certain age. So then that would mean
Yeah.
even people under that age can't.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Yeah.
I think we... how far are we? How long are we?
We're at
we're
it.
like an hour and 15 minutes. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to
Yeah.
She's making
put
faces
it a
at me.
wrap. Well,
No.
she's also very pregnant.
Yeah.
And with allergies, worse, they're making my allergies act up.
She's sniffling like a
See,
motherfucker.
I know, dude.
About to
Well,
beat her with this mic.
ask her. Till I had my nose surgery, as much as I gripe about how bad that surgery was, I was stuffed up every day of my
Constantly.
life.
Yeah. It was,
And I
It's painful.
wanted to blow out
She's
my
been very
brains.
stuffy. I kind of wish we'd gotten you the Flonase.
It's okay.
yeah. That's another glorious side effect of pregnancy.
God, but
is
how
the-
exhausting is that? She's pregnant and she can't breathe through her nose.
And
Like, man,
remember,
you know what?
my allergies
Kill
were
me.
way worse when I was pregnant too. It's like
Everything
it
is magnified.
It amplifies everything. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
All right,
Yeah.
well, let's put a
The
bow on it.
joys. Yeah.
We'll
put a bow
wrap
on
it
it.
up and we'll
You know, I do
Edit
want to
it
say,
Of course.
before we go, it was lovely to see your new home. Thank you guys for inviting us. The dinner was delicious as well. And again, I love podcasting in person with people. It's just so much better to get four people around at one
is.
table and shoot the shit and
Always.
listen to my wife sniffle and
Aw.
cough.
Well, and drop the simple, get to the point, mister.
Yeah.
It's just your kidneys. You don't have to
Just
say.
your
Just your fucking kidneys.
You don't have to say those 4 big words. All right.
You don't have to make everyone feel dumb. I was just trying to. I'm just
What?
insecure. I was just trying to.
You were trying to what?
I was trying to sling that 4.0 dick around. I was just trying to make myself feel smart again after getting
I
a
think it's after
fucking
getting that
87.
87. It's really fucked him up.
Fucking
He's
87.
realizing his
I'm
mortality.
like, an 87,
No.
yay, it's almost an A.
Yeah, close to, especially when I was in college.
Close
man, I'm
enough.
really close enough. But
Motherfucking C's get degrees, you know.
Yep.
yep.
Boom.
I
All
live
right.
that.
Well, let's roll out.
All right.
Let's roll
We'll
out.
see everybody later. Everybody, fuck yourselves. Real good.